Hi, I'm Mike Barker. I'm a county commissioner in Walton County, Florida. Today with me is Jason Cutshaw. Jason is the interim executive director of the Walton County Tourist Development Council. So we're going to do a little something different today, and we're going to talk about the Tourist Development Council and share some information that we think is a lot of good thoughts, good information out to the public for their knowledge. So with that, Jason, I'm gonna roll right into some questions that I have. There's always acronyms with any organization, abbreviations, acronyms that people really don't understand or know what they mean. So first of all, what is a DMO and a TDC? What is that exactly?
A DMO is a destination management organization or marketing organization, as it's referred to sometimes. They represent a destination, which in this case is Walton County. And a DMO's purpose is to play a key role in the long-term development of a destination by formulating an effective travel and tourism strategy. So for the visitor, a DMO serves as a gateway to the destination. They provide the most current information about destinations, attractions, restaurants, activities, accommodations. Think of it as a one-stop shop, or kind of like a welcoming committee. So while also serving a physical presence where the visitors can interact with the staff, get the locals' input, obtain maps and printed materials, and immerse themselves in an area upon arrival. And in other places, DMOs are referred to as CVBs, tourism boards, or tourism authorities. While they can be labeled differently, they are all similar in mission. And sometimes you'll hear an organization referred to Walton County, or us referred to as Walton County TDC. But the TDC, or Tourist Development Council, is a separate entity from the actual DMO itself.
So TDC is not your organization?
Like we had mentioned before, our organization is a DMO, or a destination marketing organization. We oversee marketing in Walton County as a premier travel destination. And our staff is located at the Visitor Center, so the intersection of 98 and 331, that's where we call home. The TDC, or the Tourist Development Council, is established by county ordinances that are composed basically of 9 members who are appointed by a governing board based on the Florida statute 125.014. And this council is tasked with reviewing expenditures of revenue collected via the tourist development tax, or also known as the bad tax, and making recommendations to the Walton County Board county commissioners regarding how these funds are used. So members of the TDC are staggered in 4 years, and so each one of those positions have a certain role. So the first one would be an elected representative from the Board of Walton County Commissioners, and the other 2 would be municipal officers. So we have a representative from the city of Freeport and one from the city of Defuniak on our board. And then the other 6 positions that we have are made up of people involved in the industry. So professionals in the industry that have demonstrated interest in tourism, which no more than 4 of them can be bed tax collecting individuals, so owners or operators of overnight accommodations, hotels, motels, and tourist accommodations that make up. But everybody that makes up the board has tourism at the forefront of their expertise and their concern.
So as a TDC or marketing organization, what's your mission?
Well, our mission is to protect and strengthen the Walton County brand. So in order to support the Walton County tourism economy. So we're a main economic driver for that mission. So while managing and maintaining our beaches as a primary attraction and serving the destination marketing organization, which is responsible for protecting and promoting tourism and really the quality of life in Walton County.
How are you funded? I mean, taxpayers pay for it, right?
And this is probably one of the biggest questions and confusion that we have in our organization. We are completely funded through a tourist development tax, and commonly referred to as a bed tax. And simply put, this is a tax that's collected from hotels, condos, any other types of short-term rentals and stays of less than 6 months. And in Walton County, this tax is almost exclusively paid by tourists. And the money collected is used to fund things like beach maintenance, beach safety, lifeguard program, beach flag awareness, beach, bay, and park accesses and facilities, our beach ambassador program, marketing programs, and code enforcement. Unless our residents are taking what they call a staycation and actually renting a short-term accommodation, they don't pay any taxes to support these amenities or marketing initiatives. Currently, we collect a 5% bed tax south of the Choctawhatchee Bay and a 2% bed tax north of the Choctawhatchee Bay. And our neighboring counties in both Bay and Okaloosa collect a 5% TDT, much like our old taxing district we have. The 2% new taxing district was recently approved by voters via the referendum during the 2020 general election cycle. And so collection for this tax began in March in 2020. And the funds will be collected into October, and then we can utilize them for tourism efforts at that point. So you can get more information, of course, online. You can go to our website or reach out to us, and we can provide more information if you need on those.
And what is that website?
Right. Our website is visitsouthwalton.com. So you can go to that website and go straight to the bottom if you need to and reach our contact information, reach out to us directly, or you can go to our resource page that's on that website.
Good. Okay, so taxpayers don't contribute to the bed tax, but taxpayers benefit by it. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Exactly. We all benefit. And our residents certainly enjoy the laid-back beach lifestyle here in Walton County. So they share in the overall experience of our beaches when bed tax dollars are used to purchase more beach access or bay access, and the funding supports the beach safety lifeguard program, which gives beachgoers a peace of mind, knowing that there's someone there to be able to help them in a time of need. Our residents also have to come to know and love the wide variety of local events that drive visitation to Walton County, especially in our off-season, from the iconic events such as Digital Graffiti, the 30A Songwriters Festival, and all the delicious food and wine festivals that we have that dot the calendar throughout the year. And that's just part of the benefits. Another thing is with strong visitation throughout the year, it allows our restaurants to be able to keep their doors open and fully employed throughout the entire year. We're used to in the past, sometimes you'd have to see that shutdown time period, when folks were really trying to plan for that. And it also gives us an opportunity to showcase our cuisine here, which is the number 2 reason why people visit our destination each and every year. A lot of these restaurants that are able to grow and experiment with new ideas throughout the year because of this support. And without that, they might not be able to do so and really expand their businesses, and then in turn cause the stair-step effect to be able to allow more employment, more expansion, and then therefore give more services to not just the visitors, but also the residents of Walton County. And on top of that is the economic impact in tourism or through tourism within the county. And so in 2020 alone, almost 4.5 million visitors did come to our destination, but they spent $3.6 billion while they were here. And that economic impact added up to $5.3 billion. So visitors pay more than 67% on all taxes, saving Walton County residents an average of $1,232 a year. Even more, visitors account for 75% of all retail spending in Walton County, and more than 27,000 jobs in our county were created by tourism. So even going back and looking at restaurants in 2020, visitors were directly responsible for spending $768 million in our dining establishment within the county. And imagine how those businesses would fare without that amount of spending in those restaurants.
Wow. So who dictates how the money can be spent, and what kind of checks and balances do you have in that process?
Well, our spending with our budget is dictated by the Florida statute that governs the Tourist Department and the Tourist Development Council. So that's statute 125.0104, which specifically states the authorized uses of TDT revenue, as well as Walton County ordinances that we do every 2 years. Our budgets are prepared closely with oversight from multiple county departments, and they are heard during our public workshops to allow resident feedback and discussion on multiple occasions before they are ever adopted. So legal counsel is also available to offer guidance and interpretation of existing state statutes and regulations that might impact how our funds are spent. We're being thoughtful and diligent in how we appropriate funds. And if you want more information, you can always reach out to us at the tourism department.
And the budget workshops that the Board of County Commissioners have every year, they're open to the public. So the public is welcome to come to those workshops. There's a lot of questions and answers that the commissioners have to the department heads and the supervisors that prepare these budgets. We have time to look at the budgets and go over them, and we have to make the numbers work. It's not an easy thing to do that, but we have to make the numbers work. We have a lot of requests that comes in, and again, we have to balance that budget to make sure it fits in with the money that the county has to spend. So, and we have to do that in a way to try to keep from people's property taxes from going up. So again, it's totally open to the public. The public has an opportunity to ask questions and to comment on that process, and we encourage that because it's the public's money that's being spent. So you have to spend 40% of the bed tax revenue on marketing. Is that right?
Well, not exactly. Historically, our organization has spent close to that amount on marketing efforts, but there is no requirement that we must spend 40% of bed tax funds unless there is a very specific criteria that is met. And one of those criteria would be if the county wanted us to use bed tax dollars to fund public facilities such as sewers or high-speed internet access, things like that. Even then, these expenditures would have to be evaluated by an independent third party, and the determination would have to be made that there was a direct positive impact on a tourism-related or tourism-facing business. So that would set that criteria. Even in 2018, they did a study statewide in Florida, and on average, a DMO like us spent approximately 49% of their budget on marketing.
A lot of people come into Walton County. So why do you have to keep advertising and keep spending those funds on advertising to bring more people to the county? And there's a lot of question about that. So tell me why.
There sure is. That I was like, this is a great question and one that's brought up relatively often. And we think of it the same reason that iconic brands such as Nike, Coca-Cola, Apple, Home Depot continue to advertise. They know the value of keeping that brand at the top of mind in a very crowded marketplace, such as when you run for re-election. You won't go off of just the assumption that everybody voted for you the first time, that they'll do it again without you putting yourself out there in front of them and marketing
That's
yourself. Right. So in Walton County, we're committed to not only showcasing our destination for its natural beauty, parks, state forests, and our local restaurants and businesses, but we want to ensure that we are strategically targeting specific visitors. We want to continually attract visitors to Walton County that want to enjoy our scenic beauty, but also don't mind paying premium prices for memorable experiences and creating lifelong memories, which we see in repetition with some of the visitors that we have. Therefore, we partner with a third-party research firm to conduct detailed research and studies that help guide our strategies to ensure that we are targeting the correct demographic with our marketing efforts. We truly believe in targeting the right visitor, not every visitor. And this research is based on the interactions with current and past visitors that we've had in the area, as well as potential visitors to the destination. And it paints an incredibly vivid picture of our guests and their decision-making process, and we want to be at the forefront of that.
So I would also assume that there's, you advertise and people come, but you're not guaranteed that those same people are going to come next year.
No, sir.
So if you didn't advertise to new people, the people that came this year, they may go somewhere else next year. So if you didn't continue to advertise to new people to come take their place, then you would have the people that left would be falling off. So that, to me, that would be another reason to continue to advertise, to get the new people in to take the place of the ones that's going somewhere else or don't have the opportunity to come to Walton County next year.
That's exactly right. If we were to take that attrition rate that we normally have every year, which is close to 20%, and we didn't bring back either new visitors to replace that 20%, if you think about the impact of a 20% loss in a business and what that could cause and the ripple effect that it could cause could be, disastrous for some people, and definitely could change their structure and maybe even their manpower. If we do continue to target that premium demographic, it means we can, in turn, bring less visitors to the destination, as the ones who do visit will spend significantly more money. So again, that quality over quantity aspect. But as we continue to move past the impact with COVID-19, there are going to be more opportunities for people to travel, which means that there will be more competition for the same travelers. So we have to continually present our community as a world-class destination that we all know and love.
So why does your organization have $55 million in reserves? I mean, could that money be spent somewhere else? $55 million.
Well, yes, $55 million is a lot of money to have in the TDT funding reserves. And we get it. And let's take a step back, though, and look at what that money is earmarked for. So of $55 million, $30 million is set aside specifically for beach nourishment. And so just think of the major event, storm event that we saw happen to our friends to the east. And our beaches in Walton County are the #1 attraction. And these funds would allow the beaches to be renourished and cleanup efforts to start, and in turn allowing the county to begin attracting visitation to support our retailers and our restaurants and our accommodation partners as soon as possible. The remaining funds, other than the $30 million, are for emergency operations, property purchasing, improvements to pedestrian facilities and repairs to bike paths, dune walkovers, boardwalks, and support facilities. You can only imagine the amount of destruction, and if you've been here and you've seen it and you've lived through it, you've seen what people have had to go through. So the sooner we can help the businesses recover and get that economy flowing again, the better we can help the whole community rise up after something like that was to happen.
So, I understand, and most people understand that tourism is very important to Walton County. It is. But Walton County is a very special place. It's a beautiful place. We have so much diversity. We have so many things to offer people to see. We want to keep those areas nice, clean, beautiful. I mean, we have some of the prettiest beaches in the world. I mean, you could compare what we have to anywhere. I mean, we top most places. So, we want people to come. We have to manage tourism. We have to manage growth. So it's very important, and we shared a lot of information today. We went over a lot of statistics. We went over a lot of acronyms, a lot of dollar figures. We went over state statute, who governs what, who's responsible for what. So we shared a lot of information, and I think it's very worthwhile information for the citizens to see. So I think we should do this more. I mean, this is kind of something that we've just started, and I think it's very important for us to share this information. I think there's a lot of questions that the community has had in the past. I think there's a lot of questions that tourists have had in the past, and I think we're going to start having more of these talk sessions and get that information out so people will understand. It's hard for people to understand what I do as a county commissioner. It's hard for them to understand what you do in your position. So we want people to understand that, because it makes us a tighter community. It makes us from the north end of the county to the south end of the county and everything in between. It makes us all closer and more unified, and that's exactly where we want to be. So I think this is very important, and we certainly thank everybody for watching and everybody for tuning in, and Jason, I thank you for the opportunity to have this conversation.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm looking forward to the future and being able to highlight more of our partners and other people that work, with us within the county, to be able to answer questions and provide more information to the public. I think this is very important. I appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you, and thank y'all.
Thank you.